All right, let's dive into a pretty wild idea today. What if the soul's ancient journey, this thing mystics have talked about for centuries, is actually a story written in ones and zeros? So let me just start with this question. What if I told you that the deepest spiritual wisdom and our most cutting-edge technology are, believe it or not, telling the exact same story? It all boils down to a super simple principle when we see in coding and in life. Garbage in, garbage out. If you're constantly feeding your inner world with worry, hatred, and fear, then what you get back is, well, a reality filled with negativity and confusion. But if you switch the input to love, kindness, and gratitude, the output is completely different. It's a kind of radiant energy. And this isn't just a nice metaphor, it's a fundamental law of our inner universe. Okay, to make this real, let's not just talk theory. Let's follow the story of a man named Arav, who was about to see this principle completely change his life. So Arav, on the outside, everything looked fine. He had a good life, but inside, he was just reacting. You know the feeling, right? He was trapped in this loop of stress. Little arguments, tossing and turning at night. He just felt like life was dragging him along for the ride. And then, one day, completely out of the blue, he meets this wise old man in a park who asks him one simple question. And this question was about to change, well, everything. And get this, the advice wasn't some complicated mystical secret. It was a practical, 4-step guide. It wasn't about adding anything new at all. It was about taking away the noise, peeling back the layers to find that quiet stillness that, honestly, was inside him the whole time. And that's when it clicked for Arav. His soul wasn't some static, unchanging thing. No way. It's a living, breathing energy. And just like a muscle, it responds to how you treat it. You nourish it with positivity, it grows. You starve it with fear, it shrinks. Now you might be thinking, that's a nice little story. But here's where things get really interesting, because what Arav felt is now being echoed in the world of science. This is where it gets kind of mind-blowing. The source material tells us that our DNA, the actual biological code in every single one of our cells, isn't as fixed as we thought. Strong negative emotions, things like anger and fear, can physically cause our DNA to tighten up, to contract. But feelings of love and appreciation, they can cause it to literally relax and expand. Our biology is a mirror of our beliefs. And this isn't just a theory. It leads us to this incredible experiment called the DNA phantom effect. A scientist named Dr. Vladimir Popinin conducted a study that suggests our DNA, our very essence, leaves an energetic fingerprint on the world around us. So check this out. First, you have a tube filled with photons, particles of light, just bouncing around randomly. Total chaos. Then, they introduce a sample of human DNA, and something amazing happens. The photons stop being random and arrange themselves into an ordered pattern that mimics the DNA. But here's the kicker, the part that gives me goosebumps. They then remove the DNA, and the photons, they stay aligned. It's as if they remember the structure that was there. Okay, so we've seen this on a personal level with Arav, and on a biological level with DNA. Now let's zoom way, way out and see how this plays out on a cosmic scale, all using the language of code. Think about it, 1 and 0, on and off. That's the bedrock of all our digital technology, right? Well, according to our source, what if that's the bedrock of everything? 1 represents active, living energy, and 0 represents the silence, the stillness, the potential. And with just those 2 things, you can build the entire universe. So stick with me here. Certain ancient Vedic texts mention that a soul has to journey through 84 lakh different life forms before it gets to be born as a human. Now, 84 lakh is 8.4 million. Just remember that number. Tuck it away for a second. Okay, you ready for this? Because this is the part that is just wow. Let's jump to modern computer science. If you have a string of 23 bits, just 23, ones or zeros, you can create a certain number of unique combinations. That number is 2 to the power of 23, which equals just over 8.3 million, almost the exact same number from the ancient texts. I mean, just look at this side by side. It's stunning, right? On one side, you have ancient sages talking about a soul's journey through millions of spiritual dimensions, and on the other, you have modern scientists talking about binary dimensions in computing. 2 completely different worlds, separated by thousands of years, somehow landing on the same cosmic number. So what's the point of all this? What's the grand finale of this immense cosmic journey? What happens after you pass through all 8.4 million of those, let's call them levels, and collect all that energy and experience? Well, it turns out the journey ends when the soul has collected the maximum amount of energy possible. It becomes so vast, so powerful, that it actually gains the ability to create new things itself. It becomes, for lack of a better word, divine. And this ultimate creative energy, we have so many names for it, don't we? Some people call it the soul or God. Others prefer consciousness or the universal spirit. But really, they're all pointing to the same thing, this infinite, sacred, creative energy that's at the very heart of reality. And that brings everything full circle, right back to us, right back to you, right now. This connects this giant cosmic idea to our everyday lives in a really powerful way. So it really boils down to this one question for you, for me, for all of us. Are you living like Arav at the beginning of his story, just getting pulled along by events, reacting to fear, running on empty? Or are you ready to make a choice, to be an active creator in your own evolution? And the best part is, this doesn't mean you have to go climb a mountain or find some secret guru. The path starts exactly where Arav's did, with one simple, tiny step inward. Just a moment of quiet awareness to connect with that incredible energy that's already inside you. So we'll leave you with this beautiful thought that kind of sums the whole thing up. Chalak me chalak, chalak me chalak. It means the creator is within the creation, and the creation is embraced within the creator. That powerful creative force of the universe, it isn't somewhere out there. It's in us, and we are in it. It's all one perfect cosmic dance.